Y'all, check us out, y'all. We
Check, check,
live.
check.
Check us out, y'all. Check us out, y'all. Check us out, y'all.
We
There you go.
live.
It's the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. I'm your brother John.
And this is Kiana.
And this program is being brought to you as part of the New Image Project of the Community Development and Training Center, aka CDAT.
See that?
And we would like to thank y'all for tuning in to help us to redefine what's cool. We've been missing for a couple days.
We had a little bit more than a couple. a little bit
more than a couple of days.
Yeah, but you know what? We back. We changed. We changed location.
Yeah, we're in a whole new location, y'all.
Yeah, so when y'all see visitors and when y'all want to come by and stop by the station,
yeah,
we done kind of upgraded.
Yeah,
I think it's an upgrade.
It's nice.
It's real nice.
It's real nice. Yeah, what's good with you, Kiana?
You know what? It's Wednesday, right?
It is.
So it's What's on Your Mind Wednesday.
Sure enough.
I mean, we done missed a couple. Well, we missed like last Wednesday, Freestyle Friday.
Yep.
We done missed so it was so much that I wanted to say in between those times.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Gotcha.
So like I gotta ooh.
So we gotta catch up.
We gotta catch up with so much stuff.
Yeah.
So
we do.
you know, it's Scorpio season, right?
Okay. Yeah.
It's
shout
not
out to my baby.
Oh yeah.
She turned 20 yesterday. Yeah.
Yesterday. Happy birthday.
Yeah. And election days are kind of rough sometimes for her.
Because it takes over.
Yeah. And then like my job requires me to really be like gone all day.
Right.
And pooped in the end of it. So
you really can't celebrate like you want to with her.
Yeah. I remember we did when she turned 14, I think we did a watch party. And we was doing the watch party, and then like we paused the watch party to bring her in, sing happy birthday to her. And then, because I think we was at the porch. Remember when?
I remember the porch.
Yeah. So we was at the porch, and it was like not a 14-year-old appropriate venue at the time.
No, it was not.
But we brought her in to sing happy birthday. I think that was like Trump year, that year. So that was it. But she has like every birthday that falls on an election day.
Somewhere around there, it just kind of like.
Yeah.
But then let her know that's how important she is.
Oh, she absolutely know that.
She like, listen.
She's a super voter. She's a 20-year-old
So that's what I'm saying. That's how important it is that like you fall on election day, the most important day, one of the most important days there is, that's gonna dictate how our lives are ran.
True. Ms. Robin, thank you for tuning in. Yvonne, I see you. Thank you for tuning in. Melissa, thank you for joining. Y'all like the page, share the page with a friend. But yeah, that's
right. And then yesterday was my auntie Shauna birthday, Shauna Swain.
Okay. Happy birthday, Auntie Shauna.
Let's see. Sunday was my FC, Keisha.
Okay.
Favorite cousin.
Okay, thank you.
That was her birthday.
Because I had no idea what that was.
I know, like FC. And then Saturday was the queen of all queens' birthday, my mama.
Oh yeah. Happy birthday, Mom.
Oh, and then Monday, I can't forget this. It was my best friend, Harold. We can't
forget. Yes,
it was Scamp birthday.
Yeah.
So
true.
Funny story about Scamp. Like Scorpios, they don't really like too many surprises. Right?
Okay. All right.
So
you got that figured out too, like you know them signs.
Yeah, because it's my thing. I like people, right? So let me say this about Kiana. If I'm one of your people, I'm invested in you, right? And so like I like to know what make you tick. You know what I mean? If you're happy, like I can usually kind of tell just by your demeanor. If I'm in tune with you, believe me, I know if something wrong or if you're happy. So I'm one of them people.
Okay.
And so Harold birthday, I woke up, did all my work, and then I went and put a balloon and a card on his front door.
Okay. You that friend.
But it was from his girlfriend, like, because she couldn't do it.
Oh, you delivered it. Yeah.
So I'm doing it, but it's a total surprise, right?
Okay.
So he called her and he on the phone with her and talking to her. And he was like, wait, it's a balloon over here.
How this happened,
and then so he was like, did you come over here? She was like, how can I get over here?
Right.
And now she kind of got it. So he texted his kid. Now he called me.
That sounds like something.
And he was like, you been to my house? I'm like, happy birthday.
Right. What about that whole thing? Yeah.
Why would I come to your house? He was like, you ain't delivered nothing. He was like, no. He talking about they out to get me.
Oh my God.
But anyway, it ended up being really dope. So I know Facebook is probably tired of me wishing all my people. I got a lot of Scorpios in my life.
Missy Vaughn said shout out to her daughter. Happy 15th birthday.
Yes.
Yeah. My nephew, Rock, his birthday is the same day as my daughter.
Yesterday. Yeah.
My little cuz, his birthday was yesterday. Shout out to little cuz. Sharonda, I see you. Good morning, Damien. See you. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. All right, so this day in history.
Go ahead.
November 9th is the 100. I don't know. Let me read that again without being dyslexic. November 9th is the 313th day in the Gregorian calendar. On this day, capital punishment was completely abolished in the United Kingdom. 22-year-old Gary Kasparov of the Soviet Union became the youngest ever world champion of chess, and Cambodia gained its independence. Also on this day, Benjamin Banneker was born. You know who Benjamin Banneker is?
No, tell me.
Well, people want to know whether he was a man be born before his time or right on time. One thing is for sure, Benjamin Banneker's genius was ahead of his time. He's an almanac author, inventor, surveyor, naturalist, and farmer. Benjamin Banneker was born as a free African-American in Baltimore County, province of Maryland, British America on November 9th, 1731. His creative genius was illustrated by him building and engineering the first striking clock in America. You know, the ones that bong.
Yeah.
The first striking clock in America at age 22, which worked until his death at age 74.
Wow.
Banneker was a man of many amazing accomplishments, including the construction of an irrigation system of his farm, aiding in the surveying of Washington, D.C. They basically said he was the one who drew out and laid out the design for the city, like the streetscape. He surveyed that with the use of astronomical calculations.
So he was right on time, just FYI.
Yeah, straight up. Publication of a popular almanac books that utilize astronomical, so he was into the stars, astronomical calculations to help in farming, eclipses, tides, and fishing throughout Pennsylvania, Maryland, Delaware, and Virginia. His almanac also included medical information, literature, and opinions. He was a spokesperson against slavery and the foundation of Christianity in American homes. He worked for civil rights and his freedom of his fellow African Americans who were bound in slavery. Wrote a letter to Thomas Jefferson when he was Secretary of State, challenging the country's views and laws in regards to African Americans. Banneker died at age 74 in Baltimore County on October 9th, 1806.
Wow.
Great man. Yeah.
Great man.
I remember like when you do like, you know, Black History Month,
right?
Benjamin Banneker is like always on that list of
the people,
the Black inventors. Yeah. So it was his birthday. He was born November 9th. Kimberly, thank you for tuning in.
Go ahead. So while we got, listen, I feel the love. Like y'all really must miss us because we missed y'all. Like,
we did.
Y'all in and popping. I see your wife.
Yeah.
You go ahead. You say good morning for me.
Good morning, sweetie.
I know because you know he say it so nice.
Yeah.
You know.
I love
okay, so here, let me give y'all some simple instructions right quick while I have everybody's attention.
Yes.
Right? Y'all already on the page. I want you to go to the bottom.
Yep.
I want you to share it.
Yep.
Right? Then after you share it, go to the comment section. Tag some people in this morning. Tell them we are back.
Yes.
Full in effect. We took our little hiatus because we had to move stations, move locations, and now we're back. So tag a friend, tell a friend, do whatever you need to do. Then after that, there is the stars.
Yes.
We want you to send us some stars, please. Right?
And thank
we're
you.
Still giving breakfast to the top star person at the end of the week, right?
Yep.
And when we're at
22 South.
22 South. Brain freeze for a second. $22, 22 cents. Right? Yeah, but if anybody's welcome to have breakfast with us. So do that. That's what I'm asking. All right. Hey Juan, good morning. Good morning, Sharonda. Let's see. Who else we got? Hey, Miss Davis. Hey, Damien.
Renee been tagged. I see that. Shayna been tagged. Where's Shayna at?
I don't know. Shayna is always okay. So you know what? It's what's on. You know what happened Friday?
No.
He say, she say.
Tell me about that.
Amazing event, right?
I got a he say, she say story too. But no.
Okay, so good. I want to hear about it.
Yeah.
So for our first he say, she say, it was really, really dope with a week worth of promotion. It was a great turnout.
Okay.
It was a great
diet
at Urban Drinkery.
Okay.
Powered by Power Plug. And it was just really, really dope. And to hear the dialogue, and we talked about everything. Relationship. No, we talked about everything.
I'm starting to sit in my chair a little bit because I know y'all be talking about some stuff.
We do, but you know what? We talked about Kanye West.
Okay.
We talked about Black businesses. Okay. Why they're not why they're not successful.
Because the he say, she say, I remember was about will you or will you not suck on toes?
Okay, so we went there. We went there. Okay, we talked about we talked about side chicks.
Okay.
Or side pieces. Okay. In general.
We talked all side pieces ain't chicks.
Right. So we talked about side pieces. We also talked about what to do to keep the relationship spicy.
Okay.
When is the end of a relationship? So if y'all looking for something really dope to do on Friday nights, we do it every other Friday night.
Okay.
So the 18th we'll be back. It starts from 7 to 11. You're there, but it doesn't seem like you're there that long, even though it's a 4-hour gap.
Yeah.
Because it goes by so fast. We had great drinks.
And it's like an open mic, right?
It's an open mic.
Yeah.
Your one and only Kiana is the host. I always have a different co-host. I'm probably gonna ask your brother John one night to come in to co-host with me.
Sean, you want to go to He Say, She Say? Remember Uncle Wilbur at He Say, She Say? That's why I remember, because we had a blast. May God be pleased with him.
Everybody who came out, I'm still getting emails, inboxes and phone calls about it. They definitely enjoyed it. So I'm excited about next weekend.
Okay. He Say, She Say.
Yeah.
Love that. Aria, Shayna say, yeah, it was dope. Y'all come out. She said, and the drinks are great too. That's what's up. So real quick, and then we're going to get into these election results, talk about what's going on in politics. But Tropical Storm Nicole. Mm-hmm. Y'all watch the weather, man. Keep your eyes on it. So Tropical Storm Nicole is to become a hurricane today. Tropical Storm Nicole is expected to roar to hurricane strength on Wednesday, which is today, as it eyes Florida's already battered East Coast. As of 4 a.m., Nicole was 90 miles off of the Great Abaco Island and 270 miles east of West Palm Beach. The storm had near hurricane level winds at 70 miles per hour and was moving west at about 13 miles per hour. According to meteorologists, Nicole's path is shifted slightly southward overnight into Wednesday. However, experts emphasize that the tropical storm force winds will be extending hundreds of miles from the center of circulation. So this is going to be a big storm. Mm-hmm. But the wind is not, it's not going to be like Ian, basically.
Right.
But it's going to be real windy and gusty. So no matter where it eventually makes landfall, the storm will bring hurricane conditions to many central Florida beaches and hurricane gust and area winds. I think they were preparing over on this side for a lot of the wind. They said we probably won't get a whole lot of rain, but we're going to get a lot of that wind.
Well, we can see we're getting the wind now. Like you came out, it was kind of windy. It was a little cold. It was a little cool.
That feel good weather.
Yeah, it was a little cool this morning when
it felt good out there to me.
Yeah. And then it looks a little gloomy outside.
Yeah, I don't mind these kind of days.
I know my grass need watered anyway.
Wish I could stay home with my baby.
But you get to go home to her.
I do.
So there you
go. Yes, I do. Yeah. So no, that's what's up. So yeah, just make sure that you prepare. You have what you need. They said that it might be some scattered power outages, but not widespread power outages on this side anyway. But but people on the East Coast really need to be paying attention and being mindful of what's going on with the weather. Right.
And so, while you're out there, be safe, because again, even though there's not heavy rain that's supposed to hit us, the wind, it's blowing stuff. So just be aware of that, of your surroundings while you're out there. Thanks, Sharonda.
Yeah, right on. And it's What's on Your Mind Wednesday. So please give us a call. What's on your mind?
And the number has not changed. 727-637.
That's right.
2416.
Say it one more time for the people in the back.
727-637-2416.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can put it up here so they can join the conversation live, because I want to hear from y'all this morning.
Yeah, we do. Good morning, Kenyatta.
Thoughts about this election, because it was brutal for Democrats, and Republicans are really celebrating this.
They really are. Yeah, so were you surprised
about the results last night? Surprised? No, I can't say that I was surprised.
Okay.
When you just kind of look at the blueprint, look at the board, it's one of those things where you kind of hoping it don't go that way, but but you can just kind of see, and then being in the work that we are, the way that we are, seeing some of the missteps, seeing some of the things that were happening, within the Democratic Party and just, in the community as a whole.
I can always tell, like, through the people, like it's just, I don't know. It's one of them things. Once you know, like you got to be in. It's like really hard to explain it to somebody who's not in it. But like once you know, like I was a little worried once somebody asked me and I was like,
but you've been saying that though. You've been saying that like from the beginning, like, I don't know.
I know, because you could just see the momentum, and then I
felt
lack
thereof.
Lack thereof. And I just think like people just rest on that, like people were unhappy, but they forgot that there was a lot of people that were happy. Yeah. And then and they didn't reach out and do the work like they typically do. Like it was a really lazy campaign to me.
I think so too. And I think
across the board.
And I saw a report that came out that talked about the lack of investment from like the Democratic Party in certain areas. And those areas didn't perform well. Like if you think about Charlie Crist and his campaign, like we didn't really see them a whole lot.
Right. And so I was thinking, like, no, I really didn't. And and that's hometown. And y'all know,
maybe they took it for granted.
And I think they did because Pinellas is typically a red, go red. Yeah. But we usually win certain stuff.
Yeah.
And there where we're like die hard. So it was just really, and for like Charlie because I don't even think Charlie won Pinellas.
No, he didn't. You know
what I mean? And that right there is like how you don't win your hometown, like, you know what I mean? Right here. So I
got it here. I wish I could have did a share screen or something too. That would have been real sporty, y'all, but we're not going to be able to do that this morning. So yeah, it says, looking at this map, like it's pretty solid red, y'all. The only places where Charlie Crist won was in Tallahassee, looks like Alachua County, in Orlando, and then in Broward County. So he won Broward, Orlando, Alachua County, and Tallahassee, and every other place he was beaten.
It was beaten, and
good morning, Sierra.
When we look at it, it's now time to rid. And we say this all the time, like this. We say this all the time. Today is the day that, like, okay, I'm gonna give you a rest today, but tomorrow, is when you start getting, start running. Like it's time to get the work done so that we can get the things that we need. And then people wait to the last minute. And then what's really sad about Charlie Crist is that, he stepped down from another seat
from Congress,
right, to do this. And
now the that seat has been flipped.
Right. And so that right there, so that's not only just one, loss, that's two losses,
right,
for on this side.
Yeah, Anna Paulina Luna, she beat Eric Lynn. It was 53% to 45%. Again, it was a seat flip from Congressional District 13. I guess the silver lining was Kathy Castor. She won her seat in Tampa. She was able to maintain her seat, and it was like a blowout. She really did a thing.
And
shout
then
out
Michelle,
to our Tampa and Hillsborough County organizers.
And then Michelle Rayner, she got her seat back.
Her opponent was in jail.
Right, but see, we talked about this.
Good morning, Mr. Edmond. Welcome to the ride.
We talked about this last night, though. Mm-hmm. Just see how they're together. People still voted for him.
Yeah, he had 14,000. Yeah, so he was in jail and got 14,000 votes.
How?
From jail.
So just think about it. He did nothing.
Because we believe in second chances. We can hear you good.
So my question is, if the guy who won and got
who lost
and got 14,000 votes
from jail.
Wow. I seen him. He had signs.
He was on the radio.
I seen him
from jail. He had ads on the radio from jail. Yeah. But we believe in second chances, though, y'all. I do too. So if that means that if you can,
I don't mean I believe in him.
If you can run from jail, right on. If you can run from jail, then maybe you should be able to vote from jail. What y'all think about that?
Oh, I like that.
Because he's a candidate for office in jail,
So, and it's the same thing. And so we probably,
and he's in jail for January 6th.
Right, for going to the Capitol. Yeah, right? Doing all that. But see, he's not convicted. So then that's just like anybody else that's in jail. They should still be able to vote because they're not convicted at this point as well.
That's right.
But I bet you, if I was, a thinking woman,
right,
and I would say that they would say that was not right for them to vote if they were in jail.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I mean, I think it depends on who's, and that's why elections have consequences. Because
this is it.
You may be able to elect somebody who says, you know what, you're right. Just because they're in jail don't mean that they convicted. You might be in there waiting to go to trial, and then if election comes while you're waiting to go to trial, and you technically have not been convicted of a crime, then you should be able to participate in the system.
We should really I don't know how we go about this, but we should probably, because it's a lot of people. You know what? Because it's a lot of people that's sitting in there that hasn't been convicted that probably would vote.
Yeah.
But this is why they're going to block it, because they probably going to think that they'll sway it the opposite way.
Oh, yeah. They know. And then the other part about that, too, when we think about just, convicted and second chances, right? When we talk about second chances, second chance voters, I was talking to people about voting in this election, returning citizens, because, all of the work that we did around Amendment 4, the rights restoration, voting rights restoration.
It was a lot of work done for that.
Beat the bushes for real and made it happen.
Yeah.
And then the confusion about it, like people are not voting, like returning citizens aren't voting, and they're not voting because they scared.
I mean, that's intentionality.
They're scared,
They taking people to jail. And saying it's up to you to make the decision if you are eligible to vote or not. Because I think it's not many things they're leaving up to you.
Yeah,
when it's requiring voting,
right?
They're not leaving certain things up to you, but because they want to be tricky. They want to use the law to win elections. I want to say this.
They want to use the law to win elections.
People don't think about this, but the redistricting, right? Those percentages that the governor won by some of those politicians won by can be attributed to those lines.
Yeah.
The lines played a
huge role. Those are the percentages that they won by.
Huge role. And I think, and that's what I think. Once that happened, that really discouraged people.
Yeah,
and I think the redistricting, and because it took like Michelle Rayner, who ended up, because she was running for
she
was going to run for governor
for Congress.
No, Congress. She was going for Charlie Christie, and then it redistrict, that kind of like took her out of the out of the race, and so then she had to then pull and go back for her seat that she had prior.
Right.
So I think like all
that
of
was the Congress race that Charlie Crist seat that he pulled out that Eric Lynn was in.
Yeah.
There was like 4 people in that race, and then after the lines were redrawn, people removed themselves from the race. But
because the demographics changed.
Let's not be mistaken. That line that they cut going down 34th Street.
That's Kathy Castor's,
Listen, that was a dead serious situation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's to part the water.
Right. Yeah. And really split the votes and also increase their chances of winning. So
gerrymandering. They call that gerrymandering.
They do. And they plan to win. Bruce, I see you. Adrian, I see you. Dre, thank you for tuning in. Nate, thank you for joining us. Thank you. Please send some stars if you can.
Yes.
Yeah. And so with the returning citizens, the other part of that again is just it's just more work that needs to be done and really needs to be said, and really clarifying what the law is so that people can be, absolutely clear on whether or not they can vote.
And know what? And so this is the discouraging part of it, is that like you should be able to vote. Once you do your time, you come back out, unless it was like capital murder, you should just be able to vote, right?
Right.
And the fact that they're playing with people's livelihood. I mean, honestly, if I was a returning citizen and it was like my freedom, go here, I would definitely be like, catch me next time, maybe. You know what I'm saying?
That's real. That's real.
Yeah. Because it's like, I don't want to go back in here.
I talked to somebody yesterday and I asked her, I said, did you vote? And she was like, shit. Vote.
She get the fat boy.
And I'm like, you like, because I know, you just got off probation. You finished your sentence. I said, so She was like, I don't know if I can. I said, well, the law says as long as you've completed the terms, of your sentence, you don't owe no money,
you don't owe no money,
fines, you don't owe no paper, nothing like that. And she was like, okay, would you be willing to say that in court for me? And I'm like, yeah, of course. And she was like, nah, I ain't even like, it's not that serious for people like to
risk their freedom for it at this point.
Because it's so murky and like how they arresting people and then later on seeing like they shouldn't have arrested them people. But the damage is done at that point, and so
it's intimidation tactics.
Yeah,
it's like
absolutely.
We're back to the 50s.
And I can't even, and I can't even tell nobody to be like, no, I wouldn't fight the good fight, like you know what I mean? Because this is your freedom.
Yeah,
but what I can tell them, we need to figure something out, and we need to get some.
I got a suggestion.
Okay.
I think we need some candidates, people willing to put it on the line for.
Okay.
And I'm gonna give it to you blood raw. Some of these candidates, people ain't willing to risk walking across the road for. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Versus you having some candidates that people believe in.
Right.
People will take that shot. You know what I'm saying?
They'll be willing to take the shot.
Take that shot. People go that
if you got like a real good candidate.
If you got a list of people that they interested in, they're gonna take a look.
Yeah.
Like when you see such and such and such and such, you be like,
I'm not finna risk it.
Those are not even the people that ever had any idea for me.
Sister Sierra said, sounds like the gun line.
No, you know what? You're kind of right. No, I would agree with you.
What Maya said. She said, exactly. I'm
going to agree with you, Jabbar, because but the people that they'll take a second look at or like they're willing to risk, it's because they know those people will take the risk for them.
Right.
That's what really, when it comes down to it, that's what election is really supposed to be about. You know what I mean? It's supposed to be about the candidates that you really, really, really want to do the work for. That's where the volunteering come in at. That's where the donations come in at. If you look at the donations, a lot of people weren't feeling it. You look at the volunteers, a lot of people weren't feeling it.
Yeah.
So from the top, we have to pick better candidates. We
That's
can't,
right.
Now we can't pretend like this was the best candidate slate for anybody.
But it hardly ever is.
But
I'm
gonna say the real sad one for me.
There have been better candidates, but
I will say the sad one for me was Keisha Benson.
Yes.
Because that was the hurt because she really was
the best candidate.
She was the best candidate, and
how many people bust doors down for Keisha?
Yeah.
Like, let's be 1,000.
Yeah.
How many people, made those serious donations? I know she had some real good donations. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, she did.
I'm not knocking her campaign, but I want to say what it takes to win. A lot of things that wasn't being done.
Yeah, it's a countywide seat. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let's be 1,000. It got to be, it's some work that got to be done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Your name got to be ringing. People got to be helping you.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what make candidates win. If you know what I'm saying, really look at it.
You know what I'm saying? It is a machine. It absolutely is a machine. And she ran a real good campaign.
To be honest, she should be really, really proud of herself.
All
Yeah, she had about 200,000 votes, 180,000
right.
votes.
And so let me tell you,
all the time, y'all.
Mr. Edmund Facts. Mr. Edmund Facts.
You got 1 million votes. How about that?
Just go ahead.
Recount it.
So listen, we got like 2 minutes before we have to like take a break, right? And go to the break. Yeah, we have to. There's bills to be paid.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of donations, y'all need to donate to this community radio station. We're talking about, putting your money where your mouth is, your time, talent, and treasure.
Yes.
You have to, because if you don't, we see what happened when you don't support, the community options.
No, that's right though. And then just kind of last thing on that, and then we can maybe talk more about it after the break. Just some of these different races and the results. But to your point about supporting candidates more than just be like, yeah, I got you, I support you, but really like doing the donations, making time to volunteer, talent, and treasure. And so really giving time to make phone calls or, spending that time to knock on doors or whatever. And even if it's just talking to your friends and your family,
right?
Like a lot because of times we think about
that's what I'm saying.
This is what really. So when you look at it, because sometimes people don't have the money. So money is always good. Start right here. Money is always good because they can't pay a staff to be able to do what they need to do so that they have an effective campaign.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you when a lot of times it's really hard for our local candidates when they don't have the money, because then they have people that volunteer for them, right? right? And volunteer is good, but when somebody's volunteering, you're going to get volunteer effort, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
They need to, people who does this for a living need to get paid because they're taking time from other things to do it. Doesn't mean that they don't believe in your campaign, but they still have bills to be paid. So this is why it's important for you to donate so that your candidate can get the people that can help them do a solid campaign. Okay, if you cannot donate, right, the next thing is financially, you donate sometime. I always tell people to give me 100% of what you can do. So if you're there for 5 minutes, give me 100% of for those 5 minutes. If you can give me a whole day, give me 100% of that whole day. Whatever it is, do 100% while you're there. Next, if you can't do your time, tell somebody, tag somebody, share the post. That takes no time. Constantly, when you bump into somebody, just tell them about the candidate. It doesn't hurt. You know, you might spark somebody else's interest who did not know about that candidate. And so there's simple things that we can do that doesn't take a lot of time that will make a big effort in any campaign.
Right on. And so with that, we're going to take a break. We're going to talk more about what needs to be done following this election, because like the election is over, but the work don't stop. We're going to talk about that after the break. And so we'll be right back at about 7 minutes after the hour. We're going to listen to Democracy Now! Headline News, and you're listening to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club right here on
WUJM.
Carla,
St. Petersburg, 9 jams.
She say sometimes
Mr. DeSantis has ambitions to run for president in 2 years' time, possibly challenging Donald Trump for the Republican nomination.
The Democratic projected winner for Pennsylvania's Senate seat is John Fetterman, who had a stroke during the campaign. Speaking in the past hour, Mr. Fetterman said he was proud of his party's values.
I'm proud of what we ran on, protecting a woman's right to choose, raising our minimum wage, fighting the union way of life. Healthcare is a fundamental human right. It saved my life, and it should all be there for you when you ever should need it.
In Georgia, the Senate race may have to go to a runoff election. The incumbent Democrat Raphael Warnock is facing a challenge.
Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. The balance of power in Congress is still up in the air after Democratic candidates outperformed expectations in much of the country in Tuesday's midterm elections. With ballots still being counted in many key races, it remains unclear which party will control the Senate or the House. In one of the most closely watched Senate races, Pennsylvania Democrat John Fetterman has declared victory over his Trump-backed challenger, Dr. Mehmet Oz, to fill the Senate seat held by Republican Pat Toomey. Fetterman's election victory came 6 months after suffering a stroke just before the Democratic primary. He addressed supporters early this morning.
I'm proud of what we ran on, protecting a woman's right to choose, raising our minimum wage, fighting the union way of life. Healthcare is a fundamental human right. It saved my life, and it should all be there for you when you ever should need it.
Control of the Senate now rests on 4 states: Wisconsin, Georgia, Arizona, and New Mexico. In Georgia, it appears increasingly likely the race between Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock and Republican Herschel Walker race will go to a runoff. With 95% of the vote counted, Warnock is leading with 49.4% of the vote, just shy of the 50% needed in Georgia to win the election outright. Walker has 48.5% of the vote. Warnock spoke to supporters early this morning.
Well, good evening, Georgia. Or maybe I should say good morning. Here's where we are. We are not sure if this journey is over tonight or if there's still a little work yet to do. But here's what we do know. We know that when they're finished counting the votes from today's election, that we're going to have received more votes than my opponent. We know that.
Again, control of the Senate now rests in 4 states: Wisconsin, Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada.
All right, welcome back to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. I'm your brother John.
This is Kiana.
I am the one and only Mr. Edmond.
This program is being brought to you as part of the New Image Project of the Community Development and Training Center, aka CDAT.
CDAT.
And we would like to thank y'all for tuning in, helping us to redefine what's cool.
Okay. Oh, so hop back into what we were talking about. Carla, you are 100% right. Volunteers a lot of times are better than paid in a lot of cases, because the volunteers really do believe in
from passion.
Yeah,
right.
If you're working and doing something for free, yeah. And like really, because it's work.
The bedrock of many campaigns, especially grassroots campaigns, is the volunteer base.
Right.
That's like the bedrock. That's what the campaign oftentimes is built off of.
Yeah.
And then when you don't have a strong volunteer base, you do have to resort to pay.
You have to. So you.
And
so
if you don't have the money, if you haven't raised the money,
then you can't
but
pay
what
people.
happened is when I was talking about the paid staff,
right.
you still do need somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
So legally you're in the right spot, and like you're strategizing properly.
Yeah,
and
everybody
this is
can work for free. Yeah.
This is what I'm trying. When you're looking at making sure that it's done properly on that end, because a lot of times your volunteers come in passionate, and what they can do is stand on the road, make the phone calls, do all that other stuff. A lot of, and not saying not all, but a lot of them don't know the logistics of what you need and all of that. And this is what I'm talking about.
That's the talent part of it.
And that's what I'm saying when I'm saying about the paid part of it.
Right.
Because I have volunteered for a lot of campaigns, right? A lot. Here. And I mean, I done volunteered from being a campaign manager all the way down.
Right.
And
I
then
volunteered from the top to the bottom.
Right. And so there,
So let's pull that string. Then. Let's talk about that because we talked about the time, right? And so time, of course, is just you setting aside some time. It's the most important
part of it.
Getting involved. But then the talent piece, like I think we kind of roll past talent, because when we talk about the legalities, like we got lawyers in our community, we got accountants in our community, we have people who can run field programs in our community. So you have time and talent is being able to identify that talent, because all of the volunteers are not people who just show up and don't know how to do nothing. Like we have a lot of people that have a lot of skills in our community, but they're not lending their skill set to the campaign.
But the campaign ain't necessarily searching out those skill sets. A lot of times the campaign is looking for positions to fill.
Right.
Can we say both ends?
But I know we need both ends, but I'm just saying from the realistic side, when you talking about a campaign, I need canvassers, I need callers.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just bottom line.
We're not looking for like digital organizers.
Yeah, we're not going to be fan. We need that, but that's not on everybody's campaign list. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When you have a list of people you
but
need.
When you first start out, you just don't know.
That's true.
When you first a lot of first candidates don't know what they need when they first come out. They just know when you're right. When they come in and they are just as passionate about what they need to get done, and then they don't know all the other steps that's in the middle nobody's telling them about.
Just give you a personal story, like with this appointment process, right? Because recently appointed to city council, but my plan, right on. My plan was to wait until after this election to see when we would have to run.
They don't know that, Brother John. They don't know what the original plan was.
Okay. So I'll give you the original plan. So I'll say it again. So what we did was, after the primary election, that's when I decided that I was going to run for office. Some of y'all might have heard this already, but I want to just say it again because Mr. Edmond think y'all need to hear it. So I decided to run, and then then my wife said that it was okay. September 2nd. After my wife said it was okay, we was waiting until this election so that we would know when the campaign would be. 13 days later, the member of this council resigned and the seat became available.
Right.
When that happened, this is the point that I wanted to make. When that happened, I was like, okay, what we do from here?
Yeah.
What do we do? Right? Like, how do you go about applying for an appointment? And so started, like, I thought I had time to like figure this stuff out, but it happened real quick. And I'll tell you the benefit of what happened. I got people around me who knew what to do. We talk about time, talent, and treasure. It's like, okay, this is what we need to do.
Train with the movie.
Because I'm telling you, it was so real, because it's like, okay, and as soon as I started thinking about, okay, yeah, that's right, let's do that, then I started getting attacked. And so like them personal attacks, like straight up personal, like real deeply personal attacks on me kind of had me in a fog, because I'm like preparing the resume. I'm working on the, the tail of the tape to be able to tell a story, but I got to deal with all of these personal attacks. And that's when the team, right, like y'all and Carla B and Renee Flowers and others
came on.
Like the machine, but it's talking about the time, the talent, and the treasure. Like we ain't have to spend no money, but that talent, like the skill set, that was it. And it was just like how everybody rallied and
really
supported.
Believed in you.
But that's what I said from the beginning about the candidate that you believe in. And I'm going to say this, everybody who listening, how many of y'all volunteered for a campaign this season?
I did.
Okay. I'm just saying, I'm just saying.
It's rhetorical.
How many of y'all gave y'all time, talent, and treasure to someone who lost that you wanted to win?
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? You looking this morning, people who was like almost in tears last night, people packing their bags and leaving. But like I said, the guy been our governor, y'all.
Yeah.
If you should have left 4 years ago, if you was really that serious about leaving. But the long story short, how much time, talent, and treasure did you give to your local candidate?
Right.
And I'm gonna say so.
How many people did you ask to vote?
Yep. How many people did you help take the vote? What involvement did you have more than voting?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say this is the day that you reflect, like hopping on what.
Yeah, it's the debrief. This the morning after the Monday morning quarterback.
And then right here is that if you didn't like what happened last night, then you need to recommit to something else to make the outcome come out different, regardless of what that looks like. You need to recommit to something else.
That's real. How many times you gonna volunteer? How many doors you gonna knock? How many calls are you gonna make? It's a win number. They call it a win number. When you have a campaign in every county, everywhere you go, there's a win number.
Right.
And to get to your win number,
Mr.
Listen,
Edmund.
I'm gonna give you the blood raw.
Talk, Mr. Edmund.
And to achieve your win number, there's steps you have to take.
Right.
And inside of those steps are doors, there's conversations, and there's phone calls.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And to achieve that goal, people have to help you make those calls. People have to help you knock those doors. People have to help you have those conversations.
Right.
And this is a good time for you to start. If you're interested in running, turn it on right now. Do not wait until like 2 days before election day.
Last month. I'm gonna run.
I'm gonna tell you one thing.
That's good though. Do your thing. Some last minute people got in and did some good stuff.
They might, but listen, if you're really serious and you want people to believe in you and trust you, get out there, do the work, touch their hands now. Because if your election is if you're not running for your seat or anything for 2023. Right now, if you're running for anything in 2024, I'm going to tell you to start right now.
Yeah.
Start right now.
So let me say that too. Yeah, let me just say that about so there was an initiative on the ballot to determine when the election would be. Remember, that's what we said we was waiting on.
The amendments.
The amendments.
Referendums, I think they call
referendums. Yep. So the referendums and the referendum to determine when the St. Pete municipal election was passed, and that election will be moved. And so that affects when I'll have to run, and it won't be next year, it'll be the year after that. And other members of city council have also gotten an extension as a result of that amendment passing. So that's one thing that happened. Marco Rubio, again, looking at the U.S. Senate race, he won. He beat Val Demings 57% to 41%. You also have the governor's race we talked about. That margin was something that kind of blew people away. It was 19%, like 1 million plus votes. I think like that, you're talking about shaking up the world. That was one of them shake up the world moments, because you think about the year prior, he basically, it was 20,000 votes when you had Andrew Gillum, right? It was like 20,000 votes. That was a
dynamic candidate that people really wanted to come out for. You got to think, and no disrespect to Charlie, but Charlie Crist is a politician from yesteryear.
Yeah,
there's a lot of baggage. There's people that literally told me they couldn't vote for him.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Like literally, I cannot vote for him. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And that's just the reality. You know what I mean? And when you had Gillum was different. Gillum had 15, 20 volunteers on both sides of Pinellas waiting to work.
Yeah, like you said, it was
you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about waiting.
He was a dynamic candidate.
Hey, where's the work? Do you have they waiting on the lit versus, we had Chris, where you couldn't pay a person to go knock the door. You don't hear me. We was trying to find people and help people get jobs.
I mean, when you talk about
wasn't with it.
Man, I ain't going. People ain't turning in an application. People ain't turning in their ID.
Yeah.
It's just the difference of the candidate who we were asking them to work for. It's one that would be people would volunteer for, and the other people wouldn't.
And I mean, and when you say a candidate that they believed in, I got phone calls across the.
That boy was what?
No,
they should have ran Gillum again. Gillum should have came out of rehab. Listen. Announce this
laughing, Kiana?
No, because I'm gonna tell you.
No. I probably would have still helped the man.
I will tell you.
Listen, no cap.
I tell you why I'm laughing. It's because I still would have worked on his campaign.
I'm telling you, I know people who still would have rocked that man.
Marion Barry did it. Yeah.
At this point, I believe that you don't judge people at their worst, right? When something happened, people are all human, and you know what? He still had really good policies. And I still believe in everything that I was doing.
I don't think the machine believed in him. See, there's a machine. So and the machine tells people it's your number.
I tell you, Andrew would have been governor if when after he won the general and went to the primaries, right?
Mm-hmm. The machine cut off. I remember that transition.
And I'm going to tell you, if you don't know, they did it. And if they don't know, so if you don't know, Andrew Gillum won the general election, right? Strictly, it was less than 100 people on his staff.
General or primary?
Primary, I mean. Primary.
Yeah, his paid staff.
So paid staff, it was probably like 50 of us.
Yeah, he had an army of volunteers.
No, army of volunteers, but it was 50 of us. Like, no more than 65 of us that met every week, did this and covered the whole state, and nobody else was willing to hop on, but we had tons of volunteers, right? And when he went from there to the general election, right, it completely changed the momentum of the campaign. Everything that we did grassroots and was really creative by, they snatched that away, and then they stopped pushing him as the head runner, and they wanted to be
the moon man. The moon man.
I can't. Bill was
Nelson. Bill Ford.
Yeah.
Bill Nelson. Yeah.
So the strategy was, and I don't care, but the strategy was when they talked to us is they were like, we're gonna push Bill, and then tell everybody about Andrew Gillum, and then I'm arguing. I'm like, no, because listen, the
Bill
people
was the dinosaur. Yeah.
People, not even that, but like the people that vote for Bill
did not
necessarily gonna vote for Andrew.
And that's what happened in Miami.
If you push Andrew, the people that vote for Andrew is gonna vote for Bill.
So let's fast forward, because that's all of those things that you just highlighted is what gave us DeSantis in the first place, and now what kept DeSantis was
a lack of.
Okay.
And I really think
and I'm gonna say this to the Democratic Party, like, we've lost so many elections here in the state of Florida, and you keep on doing the same system. It's not working. You got to change something.
What about MPAs, and what's the role of the non-party affiliates in this whole thing?
Assume that most non-party affiliates are with the Democratic Party, but they're not.
It's a false assumption.
Yeah, because you see it. And I mean, honestly, these are voters that don't want to be identified as any party.
Yeah, I'm an MPA.
Right?
Yeah. And I mean, it's a lot more work because you have to like switch and do things during the primary in order to vote. But yeah, I'm an MPA.
And you don't want to be
breaking news. But it's because the whole idea of being affiliated and connected to a party and then having the responsibility of trying to toe the party line is something that I never really rock with. Like, you know, but that's a part of being an informed and enlightened voter. Like,
and because I'm one of them voters that, like, even I'm a Democrat, right? On paper, but I technically vote on policies.
Yeah.
Have you ever voted for a Republican?
I have.
Okay.
Was it Orange Hat Man?
Was it Orange Hat Man? Look, your vote is personal.
No.
Your vote, your business.
No.
But my main thing is the reason I'm asking that, because a lot of candidates cannot get to that next stage sometimes without the party.
Yeah.
So sometimes people are not taken serious from the independent.
They're not.
Platform.
So that's the question that I think, and it's something that, particularly when we talk about party politics, something that Black folks really just need to reconcile and start to think with. like when we look at the Democratic Party and Republican Party, these, and Reno, if he was here, he would probably say the left wing, right wing, they both on the same bird, right?
I'm almost with him on that.
And so
no, it is. It's one bird.
And so how do we carve out space for ourselves and our agenda?
Bird
and then being able to, with the bird chest.
Bird chest.
But then being able to but really being able to leverage that vote. And they gave Ice Cube a hard time. Remember when Ice Cube came out with the contract with Black America? I don't know what the ins and outs of it was, but just the idea of having like your own political agenda and then being able to have conversations with members of our community about that agenda and then interviewing candidates who support that agenda. Like how do
those cuss words on the edges?
How do we break away from the plantation? How do we break away from partisan party politics and really move our agenda?
I'm gonna tell you, it's so hard. And let me tell you, because tell me if I'm wrong, because you have the Uhuru.
Yeah,
right.
Uhuru
right.
stands for freedom,
right?
And it is a political
African Peaceful Socialist
Party,
and it is a political party,
right? And so we have them who
the Black Panther Party
that has an agenda, right?
Sure.
And none of us go in, like, if you're not, most people don't go in there and sit down and be like, how can I help?
I'm speaking there over Sunday.
No, I'm just saying, like, in general, like, how can I help? And yet we stole stones at their house and tell them
talent and treasure.
No, but I'm just saying, but if we already have, but we have something that started.
Yeah.
Right. And then if we all join in and start to shape it or help what we all need to do, look how powerful it would be instead of us sitting back.
Right.
And then saying we don't have nothing. How can we do that? Something is already started and we won't even be a part of it so that we can get a bigger movement with it.
You just inspired this thought, right? And it's something I've been thinking about for a while, but I think that's the work that we do over the next year and a half or 2 years, is really doing that deep work about being intentional about creating this political force. It don't have to be a party per se, but creating an agenda and a force that's like, I guess it starts with like registering our people.
I got a question.
Talk to me.
Because I was gonna say you don't race in a race car race with the wind, right?
I don't understand what you mean by that.
Because you said we don't have to have a political party per se. We have to make a force, right?
Yeah.
But if we're talking,
because we're already that, right?
If we talk about political politics, we need a political party. It's just listen, and that's why.
So the Tea Party wasn't a party.
The Tea Party wasn't a party.
It was an
annex
of a party. It
was
a force.
It created a new party.
The Tea Party was not a party. I'll say that. It was a force.
Okay, I hear that. Good rebuttal.
Carla, you're on the line. What's on your mind?
Hey, he just backed me down off the mic. I stepped back off the mic and everything. You're right.
What's on your mind, Carla?
Joyful morning. So here, no, I think that I agree with you, Brother John.
Thank you.
He right. I agree with him too.
And no, I think it's important though, because we're serious about a party, right? Depending on what's at the party, who's gonna be there determines how we show up to the party.
Right.
So I think it's so we party really worthy so the people will come along in the party. But also knowing you got to bring your covered dish to the party.
That's right.
Because the party ain't a party until we all show up.
That's right.
That's
tough. Party ain't a party till
Thank you for that, sis. I appreciate
that. Was tough. Those was bars.
A party ain't a party until we show up.
Real.
And then that's the other part of the what I'm saying when we talk about this party. There's some reconciliation and some facts that we got to face. And a lot of the agenda items for the Democratic Party, it's a large part of our population that's not supportive of a lot of these things.
Listen, and that's a fact that people of the political party world really don't want to face. Their question is why people don't get involved, why the young people ain't voting, why people don't take it serious. Your ancestors died for your right to vote. And that's a lot of vote shaming, but that's vote shaming because a lot of people ain't voting because no politician is talking to their issues.
They're not speaking directly to them.
And what people saying is, even though they're not talking to your issues, you still need to go vote.
And who does that, right?
I mean, I'm just saying that's
who does, but that's that whole idea of being taken for granted. It's like, I know we're not speaking to your issues,
but you still need to vote,
but you got to trust us because we're better than the other guy.
Yeah.
And that's the messaging. And if you look at the messaging, even with this work, I like how you tap that mic. When you look at this, the way that this thing shook out and the way that it usually shakes out is with the Democratic Party. It's not often that they can tell you what they are for. It's always protection and defense. It's always like the other guy's horrible and we got to get him out. And that's why you ought to just go with our dude. We know he's not the best, but he better than the other guy. And like, I think people tired of that. Whereas the other side, they be like, yo, look, I'm the best. And this is why I'm the best. And this is what I'm going to do. And this is how I'm going to do it. And like, they come in like with their chest out, they chin up. And the other side is like, oh, well, no, he sucks. He's bad. So stop him. And it's just like, that ain't working.
What the other party do? They're unapologetic.
Oh, yeah.
About
their agenda.
Not just on the post.
Like, they're unapologetic about the whole thing. Like, whatever they about, they don't care if they got to listen. They don't care if they got to run over their mama.
Yeah, they
to get it.
Real, man.
They about to do it. And then on this end, when you look at the Democratic Party, like the agenda, we bend, we fold. You know what I mean? And then we don't go as hard because we want to be nice to people.
But listen,
that's what Carla said. Carla said, lie convincingly. What they do is they stand up on what they believe in, whether you agree with it or believe it or not.
Because you know what? If they believe it, they believe it.
And they say it in a way that make people.
But I think more to the essence of then just what they're saying. Is really who they're taking their message to. They're taking their message, especially the modern day, conservatives. I'm a non-party politician. I mean, person, but the conservative arm is taking their message into the trailer parks. They're going from the ocean view, all the way to the trailer parks with their message.
And to that, so let me add in. What's up, y'all, man? Your brother Reno Moore in the building.
Appreciate
you. I just want to add to it, man. Like, one of the things happens is I took a position in 2020 to say, man, hey, let's make each other rich on purpose, because I understood why we quiet. I understand that 90% of us are not working for ourselves. And so we're thinking about how we're going to provide for our children. And ain't nothing wrong with that. But when you take time out and start making each other rich on purpose, you see what I'm saying? Then you can get a voice back, right? And then you can get y'all agenda together. But currently, when we don't have an agenda to work collectively as a people, and then now we're watching secondhand smoke get blown all around us and stuff.
Yeah, no, that's right. And Carla B said you win and then do the job. And she also said Mr. Edmonds just announced his run. Right? but you're right when we talk about the agenda and you talk about watching people two-step and do things all around us. Is like at some point we have to really invest the time, talent, and treasure into doing that.
No, first, but first, I think it really starts with dynamic candidates. So we put the cart before the horse when we just say people go vote.
I think
we have to give.
Let me say this. I'm going to say dynamic candidates.
Let me go
ahead. Sorry.
But we have to give people someone to vote for.
Check this out, though.
Talking to their issues, but because if you really look at what President Trump did for his election,
masterclass.
He spoke to what people weren't saying. They loved him because he said what someone never said. So when we get a candidate that says something no one has ever said and really tries to bridge that gap from the top to the bottom, that's going to be that dynamic candidate. That's going to.
I think it's different. I think about it differently. I think about it like this. That worked. You're right. Absolutely right. It worked for them in the way that whole thing shook out. What I'm saying is let's create the job description, and then we find the person that can do the job. But we clear on what the job description is, because what happens is we look at the person and then ask them what you gonna do.
The job?
But we don't even know what the job is. Yeah. Like we never told them what we want them to do, and so they end up giving us the list of things. And when you look at that list, you be like, I ain't really with that list, and you just kind of all right.
That's reoriented.
It absolutely is. Let's create the job description, and then we find, and then our candidate forum become job interviews, because we say, okay, look, in order to get my vote, this is what you got to do to get my vote. Tell me what you're gonna do. Tell me what you're gonna do. Tell me what you're gonna do. And
don't just give me the cookie cutter answer. Now, to jump off what you said, it's easier for Trump to do what he did. Let's keep it real. He's white.
No.
It's
not easier.
It was
not easier to appeal to.
Wait. No, let me finish. Now I don't cut you off, but y'all cut. Yeah, stop it.
Yes, you do.
No, I stopped. I paused. Did
Let's
I cut
go.
you
You got the mic. Go ahead.
No. So yes.
Yes.
It was a lot easier for a white candidate to come up there and speak their mind. We've had black candidates come up there and they get shut down.
We're still in America.
Yeah, you're still in America. So you're talking about something like apples to oranges. You know what I mean?
So a white person can't, speak up to the structural racism and the things that adversely.
They can. They don't.
But they can.
Everything you saying,
listen, when I heard Trump say the election is rigged, so I've heard that all my life from the black community. Right. So first of all, that was like an echo that had been said all my years in this political.
It's rigged. You're right.
It's rigged.
And then he said it.
And people was like, "Oh my God, somebody said it."
But he was white. That's why when we said
we've been saying it too, though.
No, but we've been saying it, but it wasn't an impact.
You gotta think about it.
It wasn't an
So
impact.
Jesse Jackson didn't get up there and say it was rigged.
Look at the situation.
Obama didn't get up there and say it was rigged.
We gotta apologize for everything, right?
That's the trust.
Like they're labeling us things. They're labeling us things, dog, and we're apologizing for it. Now, mind you, they won't even apologize or admit guilt of slavery. So you saying power? You saying powerless people asking for power? I hate the word that we using these days. Like hold these people accountable. What's the example of this right here? I've heard that all my life. Like you said that right. I'm just saying, let's look at this. Let's look at this in motion.
I like this.
This is embarrassing. I'm using Pimp C voice. Take that monkey stuff off. Y'all embarrassing us. We are embarrassing to each other right now politically.
I like what you said, and this is something that I think we should think with this. And then I'm gonna have to leave. I
came in to fill in for you.
But here's the thing: we don't want permission. We want power. And we keep asking for permission.
Yeah, that's a confusing stance.
Is it for us? Is it okay?
Do you want permission or power?
Yeah, we want power. Like we want the ability to decide what happens, and we don't want to have to go to you and say,
we gotta stop asking for permission.
We don't need it. We need power.
No, we don't. We need the power.
Because my team don't ask for permission.
Yeah, that's true. We want power, and sometimes
we want free.
But then what happens is all of the dynamics that come with your pursuit of power start to show their head.
Oh yeah, for real.
So watch this though.
Hold on. Let him.
Let me finish this. Let me finish this big bar real quick. It just came to me, Breno. So what's the problem is that y'all keep asking for you have wants, right? Now we talk to each other and say, man, I don't focus on my wants. I focus on my needs, right? So what do we need?
Yeah.
Right. See, that's what we get. Now we need an agenda.
Yes.
We want Martin Luther King Day swole every year. We need an agenda. Those are two different avenues, and guess what we live on? We live on Want Avenue.
Yeah. Then somebody come and speak to your wants, and you say, "Okay, I'll give you a shot."
And I'm gonna see you again in that.
I'll give you a shot.
I agree with the need for an agenda is because when you're in politics, everyone has an agenda. Everyone you talk to has an agenda. You hear people talk about, what's their agenda? What's their personal agenda? What's their political agenda? So, the community does come in at a weak spot by not having a precise and concise agenda.
And I think this is the other part of it, just saying that too, because I don't want to invalidate the work that's been done by so many people before us who created agendas. So you have the Black Panther Party has an agenda. They created an agenda.
Are we operating from it as of right now?
Right.
Real fast, brother. Real fast, brother John.
What's his name? Claude Anderson, Blackonomics. Black Economics.
Blueprint to Black Power. My uncle went down to Miami following Yahweh Ben Yahweh had an agenda. I think a 20-story high rise in Miami, and then got sentenced to all his life in prison.
It was a brother here before we did the New Deal for St. Pete. I can't remember his name. I don't have the documents, but he also had an agenda for St. Pete that they created back in like the 20s and 30s. So it has
the New Deal in the 1800s.
So it has been agendas that our people have set. It's not like we've never created an agenda. I think the thing that we focus on is uniformity.
That's what we
and so we think that uniformity and unity is the same thing. So we all have to like toe the line, all have to agree 100%.
And so
that's not the
the example of that right there, brother John, you're right. So when we get in these kind of conversations, a lot of people will say, well, well, man, you ain't gonna get all black people together. And I'm just saying that's a mad scientist because all other people ain't together in front of us. That's why it's a such thing as a Democratic Party and a Republican Party. So those are examples of people not agreeing, but they do collectively. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta look at the signage in our city right now, in our state. The signage in our state was to allow the Republicans to win because it's known that the Republicans come out in the second quarter, right? And they really push for it, right? And guess what happens? That means somebody else had to get off the gas. Now the next presidential election, you're gonna see Democratic signs all around our city.
That's how it happened though. Midterms usually go to the party that's not in power. That's kind of a when you think about midterms.
When we change it though, let's change that right now.
But I mean, if you think about the way midterm elections usually go, so you'll have a president that'll be elected. So in this case, it was let's just go back to 2016. In 2016, when Trump was elected, the Republican Party's in power in the White House. 2018 midterms, Democrats had a great year. Right now, 2 years later, 2020, the Democrats win. Biden's in office. 2 years after that, 2022, the other party
hitting you with the same old two-step.
So what I learned, Brother John,
the same old two-step.
In most midterms, they usually go to the party that's not in the
But
White
what I
House,
learned,
usually,
that's a new phenomenon. That has not been the norm.
Okay.
So it was years and years when it was just the Republican Party running things. And then it became years when it was just the Democratic Party.
What years are these?
It started like around, you know what I mean?
Don't make
Obama.
Yeah, so let me.
It started around like Obama, a little before Obama, when it would have those what they call pendulum swings.
No, it happened with Clinton too. I remember the Clinton swing. I remember that.
You're right.
And that's a whole nother conversation for another time. But I want to do this. I want to make sure that we do have a lot of things coming up. And so let's do the announcements. I gotta go, but I want to make sure that y'all do it. You got the Manhattan Casino coming up. You got the Law Fest coming up. You got a few things going. But I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna let y'all make those announcements. Chore Services Program, the Pinellas Opportunity Council. Chore Services is a supportive service that's designed to help elderly persons maintain a decent independent living. They need people to help do this work. And so they're hiring right now. I think they're paying $17 an hour. Inbox us at the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. I'll be able to get you the job description and connect you with what you need. But we need people who want to get paid to help elderly people. How about that? If you want to get paid to help elderly people, there's an opportunity for you to do that. And I appreciate y'all, man. I got to get to work. I love y'all, man. Love y'all.
Wait, before you leave, can you send one of the fellas the Kiana question?
I can.
Okay, because you're the one
my
who got
phone did, so send it to Reno.
Okay, all right.
Well, so we talking about.
Upcoming
events. Upcoming events. Time.
So here we go. Friday, Saturday, the Law Fest.
No, today.
Okay,
the Manhattan Casino.
Well,
today,
he said today
at 6 p.m.
He said
at 6 p.m.
Okay, go ahead.
At the Manhattan Casino, there's going to be a community conversation.
Okay.
The community conversation is about the future of the Manhattan Casino. We'll be talking about the past, the present, and the future. There will be time for community dialogue, open conversation. So tonight at 6 p.m., the Manhattan Casino, 642 22nd Street, South St. Pete.
And this is important.
Free food. We'll have free drinks. Please come out, go to the Manhattan Casino page on Facebook, like the page, and follow. There's a survey. Take the survey and see y'all tonight.
Give us free.
Okay.
So Saturday,
yes,
the Community Law Fest and Resource Fair. Big
from 9 to 3, right?
9:30 to 3 p.m.
9:30
to 3. Feeding the people.
So feeding the people breakfast and lunch.
And lunch, y'all hear that?
And you're getting free legal services, right?
Wait a minute. You said free?
Win.
Give me
services. Free. And let me tell you, you don't know what you're gonna come out with.
That's right.
When you go there, like if you don't know, every lawyer has so many pro bono hours.
They must give every year.
They gotta give every year.
Yeah. To maintain their license.
Your case may be that
pro bono case. Yeah.
I like what you said. I like what you said last week. Let me cut you off.
Go ahead.
I like what you said last week, far as in hey y'all, if you know someone in prison or not, in jail or not, that you know their information and you want to help them, then come down here yourself and get information from these lawyers. There's over 25 lawyers going to be in the building, y'all, family lawyers and everything here to help, man.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, tell a friend to tell a friend. But I don't care if it's you need to figure out child support. Right? If you're looking at a divorce, if you have property and you have real estate and you don't know what's going on, if there is a death in the family and the people are fighting over everything, listen, come here, listen, all of this. If you want to start a business and you just want some legal advice on how to properly do that, there's lawyers for everything.
Every aspect
there.
Where's that?
It's gonna be at Healthy Family St. Pete.
Healthy Foundation.
Oh, there
Healthy
we go.
Foundation.
I messed it up.
But no, you're right.
Healthy Foundation of St. Pete.
As 2333 34th Street South.
Right, 34th Street South. You know
On
exactly
22nd,
where it's at.
yep.
Right across the street from KFC.
The old Price Buster.
Right, Price Buster. Right next to Beauty Depot.
Right next to Beauty Depot.
Across the street from Chicken and Waffles.
You know what Chicken and Waffles
what I mean?
at?
Go on diagonal across the street from Churches. If you like
all the
Jamaican,
all the chicken
if
restaurants.
you like Jamaican food, right there from
yes, Taste of the Island.
Taste of
it's
the
right
Island.
down from Taste of the Island.
It's in the same plaza as Taste of the Island. Like you cannot miss it. If you still don't know where it's at, remember where that long line was at when people was getting tested for COVID?
That was
right
the same
there
location.
On 34th
So
Street.
that
is right next to Beauty Depot.
Yeah, it's the Healthy Foundation. And that's right. If you don't have charges or you don't have cases, you don't have nothing, but you know someone, you can let them know that this Saturday from 9:30 to 3 p.m. there's going to be a free law fest at the Foundation for Healthy St. Pete.
And I can't...
free lunch, free dinner. I mean, free breakfast. And we're going to try to have 211 and other resources that are going to be there. So it may not just be the law you need, because there is also a resource fair going on. So let the people know that y'all can come. It's in honor of Mama T. Lassiter. She ran this thing for like 15, 14 years straight. She was doing the Law Fest. So after she passed, in her honor, we wanted to bring it back to continue helping people and honor the work she was doing by doing the work. So big shouts out to NAACP, big shouts out to FRC, big shouts out to the Community Development and Training Center. See that?
Right. And I'm going to stress again, lawyers have to do stuff for free.
Pro bono?
Pro bono means for free. They have to do that every year. You do
to
not
maintain
know
their license.
if you do not know if you're going to be that person, that case. So please come in, because these are people, if they're coming in to volunteer their time, they're passionate about what they're doing.
Talking about time, talent, and treasure.
Listen, and so this is a treasure. They got their talent
and their time.
They time. And so this may be your treasure, right?
Ooh.
So listen.
Bars.
No, I'm so serious. I don't call so many people. Like, there's a lot, because we know this system is not built to be just to us, right? Unfortunately. And we also know how expensive a good attorney can be to get you out, and then they rest on that you're just gonna plea bargain out, and that you don't know your laws, and there's nobody there to help you, and there's stuff that they're doing to railroad our brothers and sisters, especially our brothers, and they are sending y'all to prison for years that could have been stopped with just the right help, with the right attorney. And right now I'm begging y'all to bring y'all tails out on Saturday get this help.
Stop being on the table.
Please, I can't help it. Today I've been real passionate. So
That's
I've
real.
been
go there.
No, but I'm so serious. If y'all never listened to me before, I am begging y'all, if y'all have any cases out there that's gonna take you from your families, and you know that there's a possibility that you can beat it, and that you just have your mama, your sister, your girlfriend, anybody who believes in you, come check it out. Please, yes, all right. So there, Law Fest this Saturday. Another thing, moving on this weekend, hit Damian Davis up, right?
Big
for his comedy show.
Damian Davis comedy,
yes. Like,
Bet on Black.
Bet on Black this weekend. Hit him up, give him a call. He a big supporter of the show. We're a big supporter of him. Anybody, we're a big supporter of the community. Period.
Yeah, that's real. You got an event coming up, put it in the inbox, man. If we can get to it, we will. No promises are being made, but we will complete all promises.
Yeah, listen.
I know.
No promises are being made.
No, but will.
I will tell you, this is community radio. We have a lot. Our show is constantly growing, right?
Yes, thank you.
So thank you for that. But if you want us to advertise, listen, we take donations.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
Just like any other radio station. This radio station runs every day, all day.
Yes.
Send your ads here.
Yes.
Pay the money to get it advertised here, because y'all clearly listening, because you're listening to us.
Yes.
Right? Let us run right, and we appreciate. Oh my gosh, we so appreciate
and we just need your support financially to keep the radio station growing,
aka keep the party going, y'all.
Listen, and the reason that's important because 99 Jams has provided the platform that the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club stands on.
And and if you want us to come out,
yes, we will pull up. We're looking to pull up to a couple shows, to do the live broadcast. So holla at Kiana for the package.
Please.
She got the package.
Hey, I just want to say, man, big shouts out to my brother, man, for really doing the work, man. We say that there's more work that need to be done and need to be said. But I just really commend you, dog. You know what I'm saying? I kind of sit a front row, unlike a lot of people. But I appreciate my view. I tell you that much. But just really champion a person in real time, y'all. You know what I'm saying? We're asking for people to come out in the community for the Manhattan Casino. And I appreciate my brother being a part of that. You know what I'm saying? And we're asking people to come out for the Law Fest. I appreciate my brother being a part of that. You know what I'm saying? Because it allows me to do more work in the community too. You know what I'm saying? And this is what we about Voltron, y'all. You know what I'm saying? When people start to come together, I don't care if you call it Voltron, I don't care if you call it Captain Planet, but just understand that we have something bigger than us that we're fighting. And when we have something bigger than us that we're fighting, that's what Voltron did. They came together. Captain Planet summoned something out of the earth, right? But they had to summon themselves, right? It was a higher version of themselves through unity. And so just understand, y'all, man, that just it's not about only just giving flowers, but I just want to highlight, man, a giant in our community. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't say that, you know. And as humble as and low to the earth as we like to keep our posture, it keeps us good and focus out here. I just appreciate you, dog.
Appreciate
you know what I'm saying. I appreciate my other co-hosts too. You know what I'm saying. This is one thing about it, man. I can go around the whole board. You know what I'm saying. But just it's cool to be around a bunch of bosses, man. And the birds with the same feather, they typically flock together.
That's real.
And I appreciate y'all listeners. You know what I'm saying, for just helping me be a better person myself within my own personal life. We all hold each other accountable, y'all. And this is what we're not sitting down and talking about. You know what I mean? We're looking at each other and we're racing each other at the light. A lot of us are competing, and there's nothing wrong with competition because we are in a race.
That's right.
We are
healthy competition.
And
it's
you
a healthy
want me to tell you what you said?
Not unhealthy.
Appreciate everything you said, but you know I'm gonna even expand on that when you say like you sitting around the table with a whole bunch of bosses. You're sitting in the table with leaders.
Talk to him, Q.
We don't like to say that word. We don't like to say the L word. Love, leader, father.
We don't took L's, but we don't talk about the other L's. Saying, wow.
No, everybody that's in this room, right? The four of us that sitting here, I subscribe to us
ain't
being
say we leaders.
No,
ain't no one else gonna say, "Oh yeah, I'm a leader."
I just said it. I just said
in this conversation.
I can't unhear
outside this conversation.
I said, no, outside this conversation, you're not because one thing that we do here really well, we get out there and do the work.
That's right, though.
You know what I mean? Definitely we don't just talk about it. We really go out there and do the work. And a lot of times I've told this before when I was talking about Brother John, bosses, you know, they get instructions and they just delegate out. And that's where it stops
that's why you made the distinction.
Ask Q.
You know,
and ask Q.
That's why you made the distinction. I see what you did.
And there's nothing wrong with a boss.
No, you gotta boss up sometimes.
You gotta boss up sometimes. But when I look at it, when I want somebody to be up here that's gonna be in our community, we need a leader and not a boss. Because a boss follows somebody else's agenda and just make sure that it gets done.
Call them managers.
You know what I mean?
Call them managers now.
No, I know. And you need them. You need them. Don't get me wrong. Right. Everything is needed.
The kicker needed. And if the kicker missed the point, you'll understand how important the kicker is.
Yeah.
Right.
You know I mean, we try to devalue.
All roles are important. But when I sit down in it, if something go wrong, everybody in this room don't have a problem with stepping up and taking responsibility for it, right?
Yeah.
And you know what?
We'll move towards it.
Right. You listen. Yeah. So I mean, when you're looking at it, I just want to say, fellas, y'all are leaders.
All right. Thank you.
Ask Q here, man.
Oh, let's go.
Ask Q.
I gotta ask Q,
the last 12, 15 minutes.
And it's gonna take every minute.
Okay,
it's gonna take every minute.
The brother said my girlfriend cheated on me. Hold on. My girlfriend cheated on me after a 4-year relationship. I can't reconcile the fact that she slept with someone else, considering that we had only been with each other before this. Will I be able to forget with time, Q? Do we have a future? So those are 2 questions.
Okay, so want me to be honest with you?
Please do, Q.
You do have a future.
Go there.
I'm going to say you do have a future. It's up to you. right? Again, a lot of times when men cheat, women forgive. Right.
Okay.
When women cheat.
When women cheat, it's harder for men to do. Well, publicly, it's harder for men to do it.
Okay.
I subscribe to what when people say what I won't do, or you shouldn't do behind closed doors, they're doing it all. Right? How relationships work. And if you subscribe to being with a life partner, there's going to be a lot of mistakes that happen throughout this journey. There's going to be things that you feel like was deal breakers that's no longer deal breakers. Right? I'm going to tell you this.
Hey, man, it's real, man.
I mean,
what was deal breakers is no longer deal breakers.
They're no longer deal breakers. And then what you do is have to get to the source of it. Right. And then you have to realize when at the end of the day in your relationship, you got to figure out, is it more important for you to be right or to have a healthy relationship? What do you want more? Do you want the relationship or do you want to be right? And people make mistakes. And I'm not saying sleeping with somebody is a mistake, because that is a conscious choice. But everybody plays a role in the demise of the relationship. Even the person who's working the hardest to make sure that it gets on track.
Real facts.
Right? And so when you look at it, I'm going to tell you to look at yourself. See what you were lacking that may have pushed your girl over there. Because most time, women don't straight out. Not all the time. I don't subscribe to all. So,
you don't.
Okay. But typically women don't, as long as their needs are being met, they pretty loyal. You know, there's some that's not. My boys over here rolling their eyes. But I'm going to tell you another thing in relationships that we don't talk about a lot. You need to know your partner's love language.
Right, take them to counseling.
No, you really do.
Because
we talked about that. What's important? Treat people how you want to be treated or treat them how they want to be treated.
Yep.
And a lot of times people in relationships are screaming to you and telling you what they need, but you're not hearing them. You giving them what you think they want or the things that you will want. Like if I say that I like flowers, I keep on bringing you flowers and you like, I don't want flowers. You know what I mean? But you was like, but they're so pretty. How don't you like flowers?
You without really studying your mate though, it's to Kiana's point, man. You aggravating.
Right. So you really gotta invest.
I'm saying she's saying, hey man, you know, I might not be the type to like flowers. Why bring me flowers? That's aggravating when you think about it.
It is. So I'm gonna tell you there is a future. What was the other question?
Is there a future?
Yeah. Do we have a future?
And then what's the other question?
What was the one?
First question will I be able to forget with time?
You can't. So you won't forget, but you can forgive. You know, but the work has to be done. Whenever trust is broken, then you have to do the work to rebuild it, right? And I can't tell you what that looks like because I don't know what you need to be secure in your situation. You know what I mean? And that is different for everybody in a situation, but love forgives. And I will tell you this, it shouldn't hurt, but the true definition of love, I feel like children teach you what unconditional love is, because your children is going to hurt you. You're going to feel sad. You're going to be mad. You're going to be disappointed throughout your children's life, but you know what? You still love them unconditionally. You never turn your back on your children, regardless of what they do, and that's what show you what unconditional love is.
Yeah, the only unconditional love. Let's be clear, y'all, so people don't be confused, especially with the men out here. The only unconditional love.
Ask Kiana.
No, we just kind of say.
Elaborate. Okay.
I mean, what you want to do?
No, go ahead. Unconditional love in men, what it is.
Yeah. I mean, the only unconditional love that we're gonna get as men is coming from our mother. That's just natural. The rest of our relationship is based on what we can provide for. You see what I'm saying? And if you can accept that, man, then you can get out of the complaint line. You know what I mean? When you're not providing, don't get mad at women about what you can't provide. Just step your game up. You see what I'm saying? Because the only unconditional love we get from women is from our mama. Understand that,
dear mama.
You know what I'm saying? Because when you can't do something for 2 years, guess what? Your mama still love you. If you can't do something for 2 years, you just was probably single for 2 years
by choice, typically. No, by choice typically.
The last 2 years
No,
of relationship.
usually. So I'm gonna tell you what and I may be wrong. I'm gonna talk to you men on this. I find that men think that you need more in the relationship than what you really need.
No, society tell us.
No, because the two people in a relationship defines it, and then you let society. You let society
is the
dictate.
Society is the third person in the relationship.
You're letting them dictate.
I'm just, you know what I'm saying?
What do I say?
Society is the first, third person.
So what do I always say? Any two people can work out anything. It's the third person who bring it in,
and that's
right?
society.
But it's if you let society determine and dictate your relationship, because typically you have women who really deal with you and really mess with you are gonna like, no, get your stuff together. Like I gotta, like women gonna get out and then you feel less of a man because you be like, oh, I can't, no. But if you got somebody that's your teammate and your partner,
that's conditional.
That's what
hold on.
talk about it. How's it? Okay.
That's conditional. You know what I'm saying? I seen a dude I knew back in the day. Every time he lost his job, he got kicked out. I'm like, dang, boy, you know what I'm saying?
But that was his situation.
No,
that was his situation.
What am I finna say?
So he wasn't supposed to.
Because I ain't even finished it, but you came in.
No, because you said that was conditional. But go ahead.
Go ahead.
So here's the thing. I noticed that bro kept getting kicked out. You know what I'm saying? I was like, dang, I don't see dudes get kicked out all the time like this right here. You know what I'm saying? Every time he lost his job, then I recognized something. That was the only thing that had him in the house. You know what I'm saying? You got dudes who able to drop a girl off to work and everything with no job. They might be bringing something to the table. They might not want to just sit there and munch all night long. And so I was recognizing that bro is in a situation. Bro is short staffed. And when he's short staffed, she has a zero tolerance for him because the one thing that he can't provide, he's not providing something to her in pleasure. He's providing, helping her with her kids. And so when he's not able to provide that, that's called a condition.
There are conditional relationships.
Oh,
there are, but I'm not subscribing to that men are unconditionally loved strictly by their mom. Because I don't subscribe to
they churn might. But then even the churn is conditional because you can't do nothing for the kids. They don't love you.
But I'm just saying, but everybody's not like
that.
that.
The love that you give your children is not the love you give anybody else breathing on the planet Earth.
I agree with that. I just said
that's which means the only unconditional love is from your parents. Let's be clear, y'all. We can go around all we want to. I like La La Land for children. I like reality for adults. So I don't like to create a bunch of La La Land so I can just see a whole bunch of stuff that I want to see. No, in reality, we have a situation. Hold on.
Go ahead,
in reality, we have a situation where we're kind of being tiptoeing around offending people, but we'll call our woman any degraded name up under the book. I don't like that world. You see what I'm saying? So it's a La La Land being put over our head because we're not dealing with reality. And in reality, we got to man up. And in reality, we got to get back to being providers. And it's very difficult to do that while we're being the do boys to other people. You see what I'm saying? And that's just coming from a man talking to men.
What's the do boys?
Do boys is our store runners. Go do this. Go do that. Go do that. That's man talk. Go do this. Go do that. You know what I'm saying? The dudes who can't do nothing but just make a couple dollars and buy t-shirts and buy a guard and call themselves hustlers in the streets. Those primarily be the do boys. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
What happened?
So you go right there in my seat.
No, I mean honestly, so listen, I don't subscribe, and I don't subscribe. I don't subscribe to that. Like there's no unconditional love. So that's just me. I mean,
you give any person breathing love that you give, Cheyenne? It's not comparable.